you always hear when you're growing up, and I couldn't stand when people say this, especially to the younger generation of athletes. They say they have a dream, they want to go to NFL. You have people that be like, it's only less than 1%. They get to do it, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you were a part of that less than 1%. The goal, achieving the goal of making it to the NFL, how much of that was for you and how much of that was for knowing what it could do for your family and changing their lives and the dynamic of the generations to come?
It never was about my family. I never was motivated for the money aspect. The money was a plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I can truly sit here and say that because it was all about a dream that I was chasing. It was about a dream that I conveyed and articulated to my parents. And they were like, all right, so if this is what you really want, what you gonna do to get it? Mm-hmm. Now, if you say that's what you want, these are the parameters that we're gonna operate in. So they really set me up for success by I had chores I had to do, but like football time, they was like, all right, summertime, like we training for football when grass be growing like high as hell in Georgia. My daddy was like, all right, instead of you cutting the grass and I know you got to go work out and everything, I want you to be fresh because I want 100% there. So I'm gonna give you a few weeks off from cutting the grass. So it was things of that nature that they set me up. So when I never played it for the money, I just played it to be great. I wanted to be one of the greatest ever to play the game. And now looking back at it, like it all makes sense because I have both now. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of kids today, and I get it, NIL is dominating as it should. But if your goal is to play a game or to do anything for the money, I never wanted to be that person controlled by the dollar. I tell my daughter to this day, I was like, at the end of the day, when you lay your head on that pillow, the integrity can't be compromised. And so if you chase a dollar and that's your life's goal, the dollar will manipulate you. You're going to be challenged. And so what are you really going to do after you attain that? Because if that's the only thing that motivates you, man, you've hit your ceiling. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want a glass ceiling over my head. So for me, the goal was to maximize all that I possibly could be as that individual player in person. And then I was fortunate enough to get on the back end to receive the dollars.
Yeah. What do you do, though, at that point in time? I don't know what your family situation, what your money situation was before that point, but when you get to the league, you're making money. How do you manage that when you didn't have that before?
You get good advisors. You get good people around you. But in every, for the most part, I would think a lot of people do, especially when you're new money, but you got to listen. Like, it's your money, but you got to listen. And even when you don't think about or don't want to listen, you got to listen. Give you a good story. I remember they used to come in the locker room. I just had turned 21 with Cincinnati, and they was talking about the 401k. And as a youngster, I'm like, yeah, you put 25,000 in, they'll put 50. You put 50 in, they'll put 100. So, so for me, not knowing, just being ignorant as hell, I'm over here thinking, man, black men ain't living until about 60, so ain't no need of me just saving this money for what? I might as well just spend it while I'm living. And I had one of my OGs, he was like, don't you ever say that dumb out loud again, ever. I know you don't know, but at least consult with somebody before you sit here and, because you are very influential. And if other guys hear that, they're going to take that lead. So I was like, okay. But I say, I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you got to listen, is my point.
Whoa. Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah.